Hello, my dear listeners. Today we are in for a treat. I have Laura and Hazel. Laura she is the founder of By the Lake VA, and Hazel is the owner of Bark and Bite. And I would love um, for them to share their story and just have a fun chit chat here today. Welcome, Laura and Hazel, and I will let you guys introduce yourselves.
Hi, Anisha. We're so happy to be here. I'm Laura Kimball, and I run By the Lake VA. I started my business back in early 2023 because I was looking for a change from my job in education. And I just love helping people so much, and I enjoy admin and creative tasks. So this seemed like the perfect solution. And so I started out with a lot of social media management to begin with, and have now branched into other admin tasks, data entry, video editing, landing pages, lots of creative stuff. And I think I enjoy the most bridging the gap between creativity and efficiency.
Perfect. Awesome. Yes, I love that. You are a very creative person.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Hazel. Thanks for having me, Anisha. So I am the founder and CEO of Bark and Byte Virtual Assistants. I started off, actually, I met these two lovely ladies here in our program. We have the same mentor, but I started off more in the admin social media aspect of my business, but I have pivoted now more towards OBM and starting to try to create a startup business course as well as streamlined business for veteran entrepreneurs. The thing I love the most is kind of the creative side, but more the automation side and kind of the revenue of it. And just watching you go from zero to, hey, I didn't even have to send this email. It did it for me. And now I have, 100K or something. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm just, building up my business and trying to pivot it. So
Awesome. Yes, thank you, Hazel, for filling that in. We did meet. We all have the same mentor, and that's how we came across each other. And then we just bonded. We had coffee chats, each of us. We had individual coffee chats, and that's how we met. And here we are. We now are kind of support system for each other through our businesses, and it's been an amazing journey. So, Laura, you tell us more about, why don't you talk about how we met and how our journey so far, and what stands out to you the most?
For sure. That's a great question. Going from working in education in the classroom with I was around hundreds of people every day to this, it's such a lonely life. You're working by yourself. Sometimes you have some people to help you. Sometimes you have no one to help you, and you're watching YouTube videos to figure things out. And this has just been such a wonderful way to have connection, have friendship, and also have that support for your business. When we have challenges or problems, we message each other and we're like, hey, this is what's going on. Can you help me figure it out? And, I think that I definitely really appreciate both of you for all of your help that you've been there for, and even just sharing personal stuff too, which is lovely.
Yes, indeed. Well, same question for you, Hazel.
yeah, it's the same as Laura. But I guess our journey, kind of just how you stated, started off with, just, hey, we're all just starting our businesses. Like, what are you doing? How can you assist? And then it's kind of just gone into more of the support, kind of like, hey, I have a client. Can you help me here? Or I was thinking about doing this. Can you give a service? So it's definitely, because I forgot to say, I'm a stay-at-home mom. So, I don't really get out that much, honestly. So being able just to even sit down, and I don't even do a power hour session of hey, you do your work, I'll do my work. But in the meanwhile, we can, just chatter a little bit about our day and then go back to working. So
I love that you guys do that. I think it's so fun. I'm in bed while you guys are working and talking to each other. I'm sleeping.
I know, did you say you go to bed at 9:30? I'm
Yeah.
oh,
I'm in bed, lights out.
That's exactly when we start working, actually.
I know. You guys are
It's
amazing.
it's just I guess that power hour keeps both of us up. Like we're able to sit there and work because otherwise it's hard between balancing everything, right? So I'm really thankful for Hazel telling me that. She's like, hey, you want to do a power hour? And I'm like, what is that? And then she's like, yeah, we just, work together. You do your own thing and I do my own thing, but we sit with each other over Zoom. I'm like, oh, that sounds amazing. This is like the college days, night outs and project work and working together on our own thing. So, and but virtually. So it's really helpful because some days I'm like, I just had such a long day. I'm done. And I just got my son to go to bed. I want to go to bed. But then I know, okay, Hazel is waiting. I have that, motivator. Hazel is gonna be on call. I gotta tell her all about my day and all the frustrations and all the crazy things that happen during the day. Now I don't even think we wait till our night power hour. We just voice message each other. Same thing with you. I just voice message during the day and hey, oh my gosh, this is what happened. I had to tell you this. Um, so yeah, I truly, truly appreciate both of you. And the entrepreneurial journey is can be very, very lonely, and having friends who, have the same mindset and are trying to do similar work, it's a blessing. It's truly a blessing. Laura, tell us how you started your journey. Like how long ago did you start your journey, and like the challenges you faced, and times when you really wanted to give up, but you kept going. And then I know you were frustrated at some point, like, I'm not getting any clients. And then you just had this role and you were like rolling. And every other week you're like, hey, I got a new client. I got a new client. And your work is like, it's just going. So tell us a little more about that.
Yeah, well, like any business, when you start it up, you want things to just like fly into full speed, and they don't. I mean, some people they do, but not every business. And a lot of businesses take up to 5 years before they're actually doing well and making money. So going in with that mindset, I still felt frustrated because I really wanted to leave my job. And so I was working full time, coming home and then spending hours every evening, like 3 to 5 hours, just working on my business and trying to grow it enough so that I could leave. And so that was probably that's the hardest point, is just the exhaustion, the burnout from doing two things, still having a family to, carpool here, there, and everywhere. And so what really kind of happened was back in the winter, so January, I had two discovery calls with different clients and they didn't work out. And so, it's common. You have calls where they just don't turn out. And then a couple months later, both of them within a couple weeks of each other reached out to me and were like, we have, a use for your service. We know you're the perfect person. And so, just I guess the biggest thing for that is just don't give up. If you're working towards something and you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling burnt out, pick the things that like you can still focus on. You don't want to burn yourself out so much that you give up, but find those little things, those little glimmers of hope, and focus on those. And, just the positive mindset, it'll eventually turn around and turn into something big.
Yes, yes. Your words itself are so soothing. You take me from this level of stress to all the way down, like 100 to 10. Just when I listen to your voice, it's like, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that makes me so
But that's
happy. Thank you.
but that's so true. That's the key, just to, keep going and find
Yeah, persevere.
something that lights you up and you really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So, Hazel, so you moved from like a veteran world to the corporate world to now being your own boss. How did that transition happen? And obviously you had your own challenges that I know of. But I'll let you talk about it and your takeaways and what kept you going and keeps you going, and how you landed your clients in big clients. Right? So like, I know you have a couple clients, but that is so much work that you're doing for each of them. And just tell us more about that.
Yeah, so a little backstory with me. I was an Army officer for 10 years, decided to get out, got married, went back to school to be a veteran. or veterinarian, excuse me, veterinarian. But then me and my husband, we decided to, start a family. So college wasn't for me anymore. And then during that time, after having Leon, my son, started realizing that like I don't have a purpose in life. Like my son, I understand people are like, oh, well, you have your son, that's your purpose. But to me, he's my legacy. He's not my purpose. So I needed to find, something to do, but going home or going, to find a 9 to 5, leave the house and everything wasn't ideal because my husband's also in the service. So he's more of the breadwinner out of both of us, and, leave and all of that's a little crazy. So then I stumbled upon our mentor and I was like, oh, this sounds pretty nice. I don't even know what a virtual assistant does. And then I started doing research and I was like, this is ideal, because I was trying to do, the remote jobs that either were scams or it was just like, So anyways, started the program in February, and then started kind of a little bit of my foundation launch, let people know on Facebook. And then a week after starting the program, posted on Facebook. And then I started getting people saying, hey, I'm looking for your services. And I was like, oh, snap. Like, I hit the ground running. So as of right now, I do have a couple of clients, which now I'm starting to plateau, which is nice, to where I'm like, okay, I have my systems in place. I'm understanding my clients' systems. So that was kind of a learning point for me, and everything that if I were to give some key takeaways is like, at least have a foundation first before you announce your business and then blow up, and you're like, oh, I don't have a bank account set up. How are they supposed to pay me? So those are like the struggles that I had when I first started. And same as Laura, just the burnoutness with, trying to maintain family life while also trying to maintain your business, while also trying to make sure your clients' businesses are good. Besides our power hour that me and Nisha do, like blocking out time throughout the day, whether like my son is almost 2, so we do nap time. So trying to map out time during his nap time to try to get either my clients' work done, my work done, or leaning on your partner to have them pick up, be like, okay, you're going to put them to bed and I'm going to go upstairs, knock out an hour or 2 of work. And then finding, your own little circle, like these 2 lovely ladies here on call with me is, being able to be like, hey, I have this problem, and then, you guys be like, hey, I don't know, but I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody.
That's so true.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
But what about you, Anisha? Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you know us, your business, and all of that as
So
well.
I get put in the interview seat now, huh?
Yeah, you need to introduce yourself too.
Yeah. So again, we had the same mentor, so we met through that. And then I think I met Laura before I met Hazel. So Laura was, I know you posted this in the community where you said, hey, can we trade services? I'm just gonna start this. That was like a brilliant idea that she started. She's like, how about, because we were all new to this online space. And when we got there, there's so many tools people were throwing at us, like any application, job application you were filling out, it's like, Kajabi, Slack, Zoom, all these gazillion things, like the tools and platforms that were there. And we're like, I haven't even heard of this stuff. And then because you're new to this space of like coaches and like the OBM stuff or the social media, admin, tech, it was like, okay, where do we pick up? Like, where do we start? Right? Like YouTube and everything is great, but how do we gain experience in all these tools that we don't know? We know concepts, but people want this experience. So where do we start? And Laura had this brilliant idea where she's like, okay, let's trade services. And I'll do something for you, you do something for me, and we'll work off of that. And she created this beautiful Google Doc and had people sign up. I think it was in Excel, but either way, she had people like, sign up, put your time slots, and we'll do like a coffee chat. And then that's how Laura and I had our first call. And she's like, I'll do a little social media for you. You do a little website for me. And that's how we started working together. And then we just hit it off. So that was amazing. And that's how we started our journey of tools, basically. So like I had worked in Squarespace before and WordPress, but then her building her website was nice. Like she did the creative part of it. I did like the tech part of it. We learned a few things on the way. So and then anything after, we're like, okay, what is this tool? What am I doing here? So it was funny, but that's I'm very thankful for that support. And now here we are, and then with Hazel, we met again. It was, I think we had like an accountability check that we used to do in our program, and that had like a little, what was that? Bingo, right? The bingo thing.
Oh yeah.
And then they had like virtual coffee dates with your peers in the program. And that's how Hazel and I met on a coffee chat. And then again, we hit it off. She seemed like a no nonsense person. Same with Laura, no nonsense people. These two women are like no nonsense people. They'll tell you things as is. And that's why I really, really love them, because in the online space these days, it's hard to find real authentic people and just steer clear from scams and things like that. And then with my business, it was hard because when I entered the program, I feel like I was the only, like I had a tech background, but most of the things we were talking about was like admin services, social media, executive assistant. And I'm like, I don't think I'm that person. I can be a VA, but I know I want to do tech. So I had a gazillion services that I was providing when I first started. And then I'm like, yeah,
Like all of us.
Yeah.
like, no, I gotta narrow this. I gotta narrow this down. And then I finally was like, okay, I'll just stick to, website design and development. Not that I can't do anything else, but like I can do CRM integrations. I can build you a landing page. I can do sales page. I can do all of these. But for now, let's just focus on websites. So, at least that you're getting one service that for sure that's what I'm doing. And Hazel helped me with Kajabi. I had like a project in Kajabi, and she's like Hazel, I don't know where to start. I don't know what am I supposed to do here? And she like walked me through all of it, and it was really nice. So yeah, that's my story and how I started my business, and you guys have been like really important pillars from the time we met. And I know this is just the beginning. So I appreciate that.
Same with me. I appreciate you both.
Aw. Like I was saying about being authentic in the online space and trying to, make be yourself and still promote your services in a way that you are still able to monetize, but at the same time, like be real. How do you guys navigate that? Because I know we've been talking about this a lot, and that's been like a challenge. What is your opinion on that?
You want to go, Hazel?
I guess just for me, it's still having integrity and being true to myself. So, like, I know when I first started out, like, even though I do have the skills to help a client, me morally, I couldn't be like, hey, pay me, $800 or, $1,000 and I'll do X, Y, and Z for you, even though I'm like, I don't know what the platform is, I've never worked with it. So I guess for me is like being true to myself to be like, hey, I can do that stuff, but I've never actually worked with this platform. Are you okay with doing, a kind of a reduced price of my hours or something like that? Because I was like, I know on the online space, I see all these coaches or, other entrepreneurs saying, hey, I could do, this, and this for you. And then they don't deliver. And that's kind of how some of my clients or how their old, workers were, where they're like, yeah, they said they could do this, this, and this. And then they were like, I paid them, a lot of money. And then, they didn't hold true to, what they could do. So I think that in itself is a little challenge to be like, hey, I know we want to make money, but at the same time, you have to be honest with your clients, with yourself on like, yes, you can do this, but at the same time, do you really need to charge them your normal actual rate compared to being honest and being like, hey, I don't know how to do this, but we could figure it out together, and then
Mhm.
we can go from there. As well as like I guess for social media aspects of trying to still put that out there that like, yes, I am an expert in certain areas, but at the same time, I'm only human and I'm still learning how to do all these new platforms. I don't even know what just came out. Like, I know Chat GPT was one, but now everybody's saying Claude. And then everybody's like, oh no, you want a WordPress, you want Squarespace, you want Wix, but now it's like, no, let's go high level. And you're like, okay, like, so
It
trying to
can be
navigate.
so overwhelming.
Yeah. So yeah, just I guess one, being having integrity with yourself, having your moral compass, but then also being honest with other people on like, yes, I don't really know this, but here it is.
Yeah, yeah,
I
definitely.
I agree too. And I love the integrity word. I think that's so perfect because if you have integrity and you put that out there, then you're going to have clients that have integrity too. They're going to pay you on time. They're going to appreciate your services. And I think staying true to yourself is sort of, one of the most key parts of this is for people to trust us. We have to, share that we can't do that, or we have to learn it, or we have to figure it out together. And there's been lots of times where I've said to my clients, they've asked me, can you do this? And I'll be honest. I
Yeah.
don't have experience doing this. I know I can figure it out. So let's move forward. We'll work at it together and get it sorted. But it's hard sometimes saying that, right? I think we're in a world of like a yes. Everyone says, yes, I can do that. Yes, yes, yes.
Mhm.
And we can still do it. We can figure it out. We look at everything we've figured out yet, right? But it is it is something that you don't want to say, yes, I can do it. I have experience doing it, and then have a product that doesn't look like you have that experience. So
What
Mhm.
is that movie called? What it was Yes Man, where he says yes to everything.
yes.
You were like, really, that's exactly, if you guys haven't seen that movie, I go watch that movie, but it's basically he says yes to everything,
Yeah.
and it goes to kind of into our world where how Laura
Yeah.
was saying, like, you can say yes, but then at the end of the day, like, do you really have the experience or
Yeah,
I
it
know,
just makes you
but
look like you're not authentic, right? If you're saying that you can do everything and doing a really terrible job, people, they'll know that and then they'll remember that. And whether you get dropped as a client or whether they don't refer you, all those things are really important for building a successful business.
Absolutely. Yeah. So have you guys had to turn down clients because you're like, yeah, I cannot work with you and this is not good for my mental peace or it's not who I am. And as much as I need this money right now, I am not going to work with you because this just doesn't feel good and this doesn't align. So it is a difficult choice to make, right? Like, and I know both of you have had that situation. How have you handled it?
I think the most important part is just being really professional. I think if you realize you're not aligning with whatever the client's asking, or even just with the client, not every personality is going to work really well together. And I've definitely had some bumps in the road where, either I wasn't being valued for my time, I wasn't being paid on time, or even just like the tasks just weren't sort of making me feel like it was something that I wanted to do, which happens. And there's always someone that can be replaced. So I think
Mhm.
putting in a lot of thought, definitely having you guys to sort of bounce some things off of, like, oh, I'm really stressed about this. Like, how should I deal with it? And then just at the end of the day, like, even if you feel angry about it or all riled up, is writing that professional email or having that professional conversation where you just end things off really, really well with that person. It doesn't have to end off badly.
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely 100% with what Laura said. And then also, I'm going to piggyback off of what she said, just having that open dialogue. I know I had a couple of clients that it didn't work out. Either the task, I felt like I was doing everything correctly, but it wasn't aligning with them. And then just having that open conversation of like, well, then maybe we're not, that maybe this job isn't for me, but if you might have a different job, then maybe I can help you with that. And then if they're like, oh no, then, write that professional email, let them know, like, thank you for, wanting to even give me this opportunity. And then bygones be bygones. But
Yeah.
Yeah. And every one of those experiences is a learning experience, right? We learn more about what we like. At first when I started, I was like, okay, I'm going to do social media, and I still enjoy social media, but it's not like I like a mix. I really do. I like having a couple of social media and a couple admin stuff, and that's me. And I definitely have veered towards the creative side. I didn't know that when I started out that that's where I would go. So I think, all those clients, whether the experience was really great or whether it was not so great, you learn something through it, and then you apply that to your business going forward.
Absolutely.
definitely 100%. Yeah.
Let's talk about our location. So Laura is in Canada.
Yep, I'm Canadian.
And Hazel and I both are in the US, but then I originally from India and I moved here, and Hazel is in North Carolina. So what are your challenges for your location? Like with regard to business, because this business, all three of us, it's all online, right? But it does come with its challenges. So I know I'm talking a lot about challenges, but we'll talk about the good parts right after this. So tell me a little bit about like, does it influence you? Does the location influence you? People talk about working from home and having remote jobs, but it does influence us in a lot of ways, physically and emotionally and sometimes financially. So talk to us a little about that.
I guess I can go first. So I live in North Carolina, and the challenges that I find right now with my business is a lot of not only my target audience, but just my, I guess, physical location. It used to be a farmland, but now they're like growing bigger, more houses. So there's not really too much, I guess, online businesses around here. They're more brick and mortar, physical locations. So a lot of the times it's, yes, you could still help out a physical location. Like one of my clients, she's in Oregon. She does actually have like a storefront. But here it's a little struggle because they're either startups, they're let's call it veteran owned as well. So they already have their own team that they've probably met during the service. Or it's a lot of stay at home moms as well, since the influx of having to move in and out due to the military. So that's kind of the struggle that I'm having in just my immediate area. So I have to rely more heavily on like social media, LinkedIn, on trying to find my clients. And then it's a hit or miss depending on the Chamber of Commerce in my area. They they only do one meeting, but if there's like a forum or something, then they cancel that meeting. So like last month, I was like super stoked to like go and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go meet new business owners and hang out with people. And then the head of the committee was like, oh no, we're having a forum, so it was canceled. So I'm like, oh, well then never mind then. So, but yeah, so those are kind of my challenges, and how I navigate that, like I said, is either, bouncing ideas off of you guys, or, just going back to social media, trying to pull people, um, get referrals from my old clients or from my like current clients that I have. But yeah, that's kind of the struggle for my business per se.
Yeah, in Canada, so I'm in Ontario, and I live in a little town called Cobourg. It's about 2 hours from Toronto. And so a lot of job opportunities will say US residents only. And
Mhm.
so that's tough. So when I first kind of got into this space and was in that program, and a lot of them are US only. So you're like, okay, well, how am I going to find Canadian residents? Or how do those US people understand that, again, I'm an independent contractor. You don't have to do anything different. It's just I'm another person that is sending you a bill and you're paying, right? And you're paying it in US
Mhm.
dollars. I get it converted to Canadian. So it's actually super easy. And some people are fine with it and, are completely good with it. But other people, it freaks them out because I'm not in the States. And then, like what Hazel was saying too, same thing is that it's trying to get people to understand that remote work is so common. It's so easy to be done. There's all these different programs that we can connect with, and a Zoom call is super easy, just as easy as being in person. Easier actually, because you can be in your pajamas for it. And and so those people that are like, I must have an admin at the front desk, yes, if you have clients coming into your office and you need someone to greet them, then that's for sure a reason to have them. But if you don't actually need that, then paying someone 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week is going to save you all this money, because you're not paying someone full time to sit at your front desk and answer your phones or greet customers. So yeah, I think we're just slowly making that switch.
Yeah. The reason I brought this up is because I've seen you guys handle these situations so gracefully, and you're doing so well with all the challenges thrown at you, especially location based. Because for me, I don't see so much challenges location based, because I have, like, where I live. Again, I don't have that. I am in US, so that's good. And then I have Chamber of Commerce. So I don't have those challenges, and seeing you guys navigate these challenges with so much grace and still put yourself out there, keep going, finding your clients. I want to commend both of you on that, and have our listeners who eventually, if we do have people who would listen to this, who are entrepreneurs or who want to take this step, to have this takeaway from here, where you guys are not letting anything hinder you, and you just keep going no matter what challenges you guys are facing. You are still going. And that brings me to my next question. What is the most important, like, what is it about this? It is hard, right? We've talked about being an entrepreneur, starting a business. It's hard. It's very, very hard. People think, okay, you have a business, so you can do your own thing, you have this, you have that. But it's not entirely true, right? So but there are also a lot of pros to being an entrepreneur, having your own business, having the time flexibility, the freedom to pick and choose who you work with, and also the services, and to do things that actually light you up. So tell us uh, about that part. Like, what is it that you enjoy most about being an entrepreneur and having your own business?
Honestly, I love it so much. It makes me so happy to have autonomy over my life. I have two kids, one who's 15 and the other one is 12. And my daughter, who's 12, plays rep hockey. So she's all over the place for all these games. And I remember getting home like last year when I was still in my education job and being exhausted, and then having to get up the next morning and get going and have a really busy day. And now I still have to get up the next morning and get going, and I still have a busy day, but it's just different. And it's different when you make your own decisions for your day. And with clients, Anisha, you and I have talked about this numerous times, where it's my business. So I get to make those decisions. I get to choose if I work with you. I get to choose how I run it when I'm working. No one
Mhm.
tells me, you're working from 9 till 5. And I just love that. I think it's so flexible. I think that, when one of my kids is doing a school sport and I want to go see, now I can just go. It's
Mhm.
so great. And I couldn't do that before. So it really is flexible. And I think just again, yeah, like when you guys work, you're working at night. Most jobs you
Mhm.
pick and choose when you're working. And so you're making it work. I said work a lot there.
Mine would be the freedom of kind of just having your own schedule, mapping out like, yes, my client has X, Y, and Z that needs to be done, but I don't have to do it today. I can, spread it out throughout the week, or even 2 weeks depending on when it's due, as well as being like, hey, I'm taking my son to gymnastics today and I will not be working on your stuff. And the clients understand that. They were like, oh, it's cool, like compared to
Mhm.
like doing the 9 to 5, or like even when I was in the service, it was like, hurry up and wait in the service. So you show up like 2 hours, an hour before, and then none of the work is done because you're waiting for the actual time for you to actually start doing it, or waiting for the person that you're trying to get the stuff from. And it's not like that here in our space, where it's like you sign your client on, they tell you exactly what they want or what they need, and then you can either help them or you be like, hey, get a little extra, here you go, kind of thing. And vacations as well. Like it's remote. So yeah, I'm going on a vacation and then, oh, I'm just going to take my laptop and, go work and stuff compared to like, oh man, like I'm taking vacation, but then I'm going to come back to my 9 to 5 and, work's going to be piled so much because I couldn't do anything. So I do really enjoy the flexibility as well and the freedom to just be like, hey, today I'm not really feeling myself. I'm feeling sick or just I need a mental break and I can take that whole day off without having to be like, oh, I need a doctor's note or, so
It's
I
so
might be
true.
sorry.
That also leads
Yeah.
back to your clients trusting you, right? And like you've built a business with this integrity and they trust you're going to get their job done. So whether you're doing it at 2 a.m. in the morning from, I don't know, Thailand, or whether you're doing it from North Carolina, at a time that makes sense, you can do it wherever, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I completely agree. So knowing where you are now and where you were when you started, what are you proud of, both of you, for each of your, like, when you started your journey and looking back, what do you feel the most proud of?
Mine would be actually taking the leap and starting it because I know we all have what they call that ego that's like, oh, I can't do it because I can't be that successful as this person because of this, or like make like different, I guess, rules that why we can't do it. Which at the start I did have those where I'm like, well, Leon's this age, I'm breastfeeding, nobody's gonna want my services. Um,
Mhm.
so just kind of sticking with it, I'm like super proud about because I wouldn't have met you too if I would
No.
have stuck with it, or met some of the amazing clients, or even kind of push beyond my limit to be like, no, I can do this. Like I website design. I don't know until I came into this world and was like, hey, that I love doing website stuff, or I love um, more of the tech aspect where I'm like, at first, before this, I was like, I did like the creative side. I love, building things, but now I'm like, no, not really for me. Like, um, that, and then also being able to, like my family were struggling, but we're not struggling, if that makes sense. But just being able to be like, oh, hey, honey, like, no, it's fine. I can get the groceries, or, kind of having a little bit more of myself back to where I'm not like super heavily relying on my husband for making sure that, our mortgage is paid, our mouths are fed kind of thing, to where I'm like, oh, hey, here's some money, like go spend it on yourself. That's what I'm super proud about. And then just kind of having the wonderful support that, the connections, the networking that I didn't think that was possible in my life. Like I said, we've never physically met each other, but
Yes.
literally consider
Crazy, eh?
both of these ladies like a really good almost best friend, as Anisha said. Where like if I have a problem, I can like call or like audio them and be like, hey, X, Y, and Z, and they'd be like, yeah, you can do this, or girl, like go do this. So that's what I'm proud of. Sorry.
I love it.
Well,
You should
see,
be proud.
I said almost best friends because I didn't want to, I didn't want to overstep and say you guys are my best friends and you guys look at me like, no, we barely know you. How are you even calling us your best friend? But it's we have grown so fond of each other and we're just in each other's lives so much that even if it's been for a shorter period, we're there. Like we literally talk to each other almost every day. And it's also the perk of being entrepreneurs that we have this common thing that we can talk about. And even like Hazel said, we haven't met in person, but we share everything about our lives, like, personal lives, business life, professional life, whatever. We're just there for each other. So yeah.
I'm
So
going to coin the term remote besties.
perfect. There you go. Remote besties. I love that.
I'm coming to Canada soon. I got my passport.
Yeah, I was going to say we have to have like a meetup somewhere and then
Yeah,
we
we
can hug
should.
each other. Yay.
I think Laura was talking about New York for some reason. She said New
That
York
would be
would be
amazing. New
Well,
York
we going to
City.
Nashville.
Say that again.
Going to Nashville.
Nashville. Okay.
I'm game. I'm honestly, any of those sound amazing to me.
We'll have a little meetup there.
Be fun.
We
Oh
gotta
gosh.
plan that sometime next year and have our own little mastermind thing that he
Yeah.
stays everywhere.
Our own little retreat.
Our little retreat. Yes. Yes, indeed. Awesome. So Laura, I'll let you answer that question.
Yeah, I think it's so similar to Hazel, like growing a business and feeling like you're like I don't feel like I'm there. Like I don't feel like, yeah, I'm finally there, but I feel like all of the goals that I set for myself a year and a half ago, I'm there now. So it's sort of like, I'm making an income. I've replaced my income from work. I'm working from home. I have flexibility. I'm there for my kids more. My kids were like, "Oh, mom, you seem like so much less tired," which is amazing. That makes me so happy because that's what I want them to remember me for, not feeling like, mom's always tired, doesn't want to do anything. And I think just feeling like I kind of know what I'm talking about now with like a lot of those programs. There's so many when you start, right? You have imposter syndrome. You're like, oh my gosh, there's like 50 different programs that I can learn. Which do I learn first? How do I learn it? And so,
Mhm.
like that setup about trading services way back when we were able to show each other one on one instead of watching a YouTube video, it's so
Mhm.
disconnected, but to have those connections. And so, yeah, I think there's just so many aspects of the program. Like when you brought it up, I was like, started to get even just teary about, just us being where we are now and feeling like, you're propelling yourself ahead.
Yes, yes. I feel like we've come so far ahead. I can't even remember like 6 months ago what was going on. Yeah. But so if somebody wants to get in touch with Laura, let's start with you with your services. Like I know you said you provide admin, social media. What how do clients find you? Or if somebody wants to work with you, what is it that you offer? And how can they get in touch with you?
So they can definitely find me on Instagram or Facebook. So by the lake VA is my term or whatever, my what's it called?
Handle.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, edit that. I knew I was gonna flub. And you can go to my website, www.bythelakeva.com. And you can email me at bythelakeva@gmail.com. And happily to hear from you. Happy to hear from you.
Awesome. And what is it that you provide?
Oh, for services?
Hmm.
Well, any virtual assistant services. So I would say definitely admin, data entry, social media, any sort of creative templates you need. I can create workbooks for you that you can sell. I can make landing pages. I can do, um, yeah, like any like research, pretty much anything, organizing, email management. I feel like the list goes on, right? But anything that your business needs, I'm there for you.
Perfect. Yes, Laura, anything creative that you need and anything very organized and neat and Laura just has this vibe to her. She just makes everything calm. So if your
Thank you,
business is in
Anisha.
chaos, Laura is
Yes.
your person.
I will bring the calm. That's why it's by the lake, the calm lake.
I was about to say that. I was like, when I think of your business, I'm thinking like I'm by the lake, just nice and calm, having my hot
Totally.
cocoa sitting there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to bring, that vibe.
Mhm, mhm.
Uh,
Awesome. Hazel.
yes. So the services I provide are VA and then OBM services as well as website design. I will be launching a mini little veteran entrepreneurship coaching uh course, if I'm saying this
Yay.
correctly, right? It's a lot. Like it's still in the works, but hopefully I will have it launched kind of end of November, beginning of December. So right before the holidays, right? Go figure. But so those are the services I provide. And yeah, you can find me on Facebook or IG. My handle is bark.byte.va, and the byte is BYTE. Not like I'm gonna bite you. So, but or you can also email me at bark.byte laura.ba@gmail as well.
Well, awesome. Amazing. This was fun. We should do these Zoom calls more often, huh?
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Oh, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on my show and adding so much joy and laughter to this episode and talking about the importance of friendship and, just finding people, like-minded people who help you grow and grow with you is so important in your entrepreneurial journey. So thank you so much for hopping on and being willing to be on my show and sharing all these golden nuggets here. And thank you again.
Thanks, Anisha.
Yeah,
It
thank
was
you for the
fun.
invite.
Yeah. So for our listeners, the ways to get in touch with Laura and Hazel will be in the show notes, and I will see you guys in the next episode.